is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
You're listening to Talking Heads with Naughty, hosted by Earl the Pearl. On Guardian Radio 96.9 FM.
The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
From what day you may find out, certain people not like me. I pre one crocus bag a thing now. Big screw me, I do it like Nike. But me not fear no guy, you know.
Talking Heads with Naughty is brought to you by Burger King, the Cancer Treatment Centers of America, the Cleveland Clinic, Fine Threads, First Caribbean Bank, Janae's Uniform Center, John's Department Store, Joker's Wild, KFC, Naughty Johnny's, Percy's Island Games, Prince Masters, and Tropical Gyros.
Here's how you can become a talking head, brought to you by BTC.
Good day, good afternoon, happy Thursday. Pearly in the house, Talking Heads, Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. So good to be here with y'all today. It's hot though. Oh my goodness, it's hot. But it's good to be here. Let's get right to it. Let's get to it. We're going to talk of something that I find very interesting today, and I hope you find it as interesting as I do. 323-6232, 323-6232. You can also get me at 325-4316, 325-4316, or 325-4259. That's 325-4259. Toll free 242-300-5720. Or you can text me. It's powered by BTC 422-GR96. That's 422-4796. There you go.
It's time for Headliners. Everything that's making headlines in the 242. Brought to you by the Fine Threads.
Oh, let's see what's happening in the Guardian today. Oh boy, Olympic pick controversy. Cooper to go to Paris as observer. We can talk a little bit about that in the 5 o'clock hour. Christian Council slams cannabis bill. MPs pass bill in House. Monroe shifts tone on police ability to investigate themselves. And man on trial accused of sex assault at American teen in hotel. Oh, my Bahamas. Business section. IP legislation will attract fintech firm, says Cooper. Patent bill 2024. Copyright bill 2024. Trademark bill 2024. Register of World Records bill 2024. And Register of Companies bill 2024 tabled in Parliament yesterday. Burnside, Bahamas, still a pirates' republic in intellectual property. Chamber CEO, many meetings held on the heels of Afro-Bank conference. Tipsy Scoop, 20% above its sales rate. I haven't tried that yet. I got to check that out. Somebody say he's be tipsy when he come on there. You can see how that go. But how's everybody doing today? I have a special guest who's joining us today. The lovely Tinel Tada Burrows is joining us today via Zoom. Tinel, how are you, darling? Did you leave me? Hi, now I can hear you. How you doing?
I'm super. How you doing?
I'm good. Glad that you can join me today. I know it's a little late notice, but I do appreciate it. Listen, let me just break it down like this. I remember a few years back, and I hope this gets segued properly. A friend of mine came to me and said, "Boy, Pearly, I got two little nice young ones we could check out. 115 and 116. And I look at him and I say, "Babe, you with a lot of explicits all in between. They're crazy." I say, "My daughter's 16. How dare you?" I say, "If I see you anywhere with these, I can put the police on you." And then over the last few weeks, I see a young lady run away, another one missing, young kids missing. And it got into a conversation with some people and talking about the age of consent. And right now, the age of consent in the Bahamas is 16 years old. Is that too young to that?
I definitely think it is, yes. So Rise Bahamas, our organization that's been fighting for child protection for 10 years. We've been in existence. We have a petition out. You can check it out at change.org/child protection 242. The number's change.org/child protection 242. And we're calling for the age of consent to be 18, 18 across the board. The age of consent for heterosexual sex is 16,
16 right now, yes.
and the age of consent in a homosexual scenario is 18. So
Yes.
we don't understand why there's a discrepancy, and it needs to be addressed.
Well, I did a little bit of research today just to get an idea how the rest of the world thinks. So when you look at most states in the United States, and believe it or not, and I had to look at this twice. Most states in the United States is 16.
Okay.
You have a handful at 17 and only 11 states at 18.
Okay.
Then you got Mexico is typically 12 or the onset of puberty, but the federal age in Mexico is 15. I guess there's some kind of beliefs. Central America runs from 14 to 18, so you got Antigua and Barbuda at 16. That was changed in 95. Then Aruba 15, Barbados 16, Bermuda, Canada, Cuba, Jamaica all at 16. Haiti is at 18. Trinidad is 18. The Virgin U.S. Islands is 18. Then Nigeria is 18. Ghana is 16. Ethiopia is 18. However, 20% of the girls married by 15. The Virgin Islands is actually 18, but 16 to 17-year-old is not a crime if it's with somebody who's less than 5 years older than you. And 13 to 15 is not a crime with someone not 16 years of age. Ireland is 17, and Turkey and the Vatican City is 18. That's the few countries to throw out. I think France is at 15 as well. And then Ethiopia at 16, Germany 14, Ireland 15, England, Scotland 16, and Ireland and Iceland is 15 and Ireland is 17. So
Right.
I know back up until 93 we were 14 years old. But it was 14 up until 93. I think Dame Janet Bostic was the advocate when the FNM won the government in 92 to move the age up from
Well,
14.
thank you for that. Now I'll be the advocate to move the age up across the board, regardless of whether it's heterosexual sex or not, to the age of 18. I think that we've seen over the past few decades that not only have we seen an increase in the number of girls that go missing, and the police confirmed a few years back that a majority of the missing children's cases in recent years have been girls that are victims of statutory rape. I think our terminology when it pertains to the rape of children has to change, because when a man forces himself on an adult person, we call that rape, right? We call, in the instance, if a married person is forced to have sex with spouse, we call that marital rape, right? So why is it that we kind of pretty it up or lighten the terminology and call it unlawful sexual intercourse when a child is raped? Why is that? We don't need different terminology. Continue to call it what it is. Rape is rape. If you want to specify and say it's the rape of a child, you can say that. But I think there's a massive overhaul that needs to happen, and it needs to happen quickly and extensively. We don't want you just making one or two changes and leaving some of these things not dealt with, because for all these years, all these decades, like you said, we had to improve the age of consent. We have further improvements that need to be made post haste.
I agree.
Right.
I agree. I agree.
And you asked me on the show last minute, because you see, you've been getting plenty texts from viewers and listeners, I should say.
People talking to me, people concerned. A lot of people are shouting their concerns, particularly when you see young ladies running away, some missing, and then you hear they're back, and then you hear all these ridiculous conspiracy theory thoughts of people all over the place. And right now, I think we need to seriously take a look at taking it to 18.
Yes.
You know,
even calling them young ladies, because I noticed Wayne Monroe, when he refers to girls that are under the age and they have been victims of statutory rape, they refer to them in their public prosecutions and people like that as young ladies. They're not young ladies. They're little girls. So let's call them little girls.
Okay.
Who have now in the Bahamas gone to the resort of now filming themselves with adult sex predators in hopes that the authorities will intervene, that someone will see these videos and advocate for the perpetrators in these videos who are shown having sex with them, whether explicitly or implied, they are incriminating themselves just in order to get help from anybody that's an adult that can either report it to the police, and then they're hoping that the police actually charge these men with crimes.
I want to take it. I want to take it some. And I want to take. I really want to keep politics totally out of it. I just want to talk the human element of it and how we as people look at it. Because I'm wondering if we're finding in civil society, or if we're finding out there, let's put it plain, if we're finding on the streets that people are looking at this as okay, are we not reporting it enough that young we're not, even at the age, we're not paying attention to the laws on it? And one thing somebody said to me, if you can't vote at 16, why should you be able to consent it? You can't consent on what happens for you in your country until 18. Should be the same thing with your body, shouldn't?
I mean, that's a fair case. And if you look at the statistics of the countries that you said had a lower age of consent, you're talking about countries in the Eastern Hemisphere, Africa, and these places.
Yeah.
We are not a country where we condone people allowing their children to be married off at the age of 12 and 13. That is not this country.
No.
If you want to move to another part of the world where that thing happens, you want to engage in that, that's on you. In the Bahamas.
And even though back in the day you had the right, the daddy, to marry them, they still were of age. Like, I know.
Back in the day, Earl, maybe you know. I only been here 44 years.
No, I never had to do it. I was told stories by my uncles and dad and all that stuff that they had to write my grandfather a letter asking for permission to marry his daughter.
Right.
But they were of age. They were actually all over 21.
Right. But I know back in the day, the age was different when you got married and all that. But in the Bahamas, we don't believe in child brides.
No,
we don't condone child brides.
No, we don't.
So in the Bahamas, we don't believe in adults having sex with children. We don't condone it.
No,
and
we
we
don't.
are going to ensure that people under the age of 18 from now forward are protected. We have signed on to the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child. And that convention pertains to children. And we in the Bahamas define children as anyone under the age of 18 years old. So if we, by definition, consider someone under the age of 18 to be a child, and we don't condone adults having sex with children, we should ensure that anyone under the age of 18 has legal recourse if an adult engages in sex with them.
And
So
go ahead. Even at that age, I'm lost on how it lines up with the law, because certain things you cannot do until you're 18. You can't drive a car. You can't buy a house. You can't do most things. Like, I don't think you can open a bank account until you're 18. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that one. But why is it so easy for, and this is talking a man my age, over 21, a man my age who able to have relations with a 16-year-old? What did you have in common? What you could possibly talk about?
So
Homework?
that, like you said, that's
Help
the
them
age
with
of
their
your
homework?
child. Actually, that's the age of your grandchild at this point.
But not yet. My children, I don't know why did they take so long, but I have a 6-year-old grandson.
Hold on. Yeah. Well, okay.
But at my age, yes, I can have grandchildren. I mean, I have godchildren I have godchildren who have kids in the teens.
Let's look at it this way, because a lot of times people say, "Oh, y'all only trying to hit out at men and ting and blah blah blah." It ain't nothing to do with men. There have been women who have engaged, adult women who have engaged and who have raped boys, 13, 14, 15. But the thing is, those boys have not had the cultural acceptance to be able to come forward with those stories, because in our culture, there's a double standard where, if a woman, sleeps with a younger boy, it's okay, because by age,
I get myself a cougar. I get a cougar, yeah.
Yeah, no. That means we're not having that. We're not standing for that.
No.
If you are a man, woman, however you identify, whatever you are, and you are an adult engaging in sex, raping a minor, You need to go to jail.
Because
And you need to go to jail for a long time.
and if the person if the child is 14, that's still rape. If she say yes, that's rape because you should know better as an adult. But I want to know what some people out there think. If people believe that is 16 good enough for us, or should we be at 18?
Well,
I would like to
we could
know.
talk about the age. We could talk about the age of consent all day.
Yes, we
could
can.
do that. But we're not talking about the other things that are really impeding justice for children that are raped and sexually assaulted, molested, have been victims of incest in this country. And the big elephant in the room is this. The other day we had a case where a man raped a 13-year-old child, and for each count of that rape received a sentence of 2 years because he pled guilty
So he been in
2
jail
years.
only for 2 years?
for each count. Because he raped the child 3 times. He admitted to raping the child 3 times. So he got a 2-year sentence for each time he raped that child. So at the end of the day, you are saying to the Bahamian public, oh, we don't really care about the rights and the protection and the sanctity of a child and the innocence of a child in this country that is sexually assaulted, raped, or harmed in any way.
Uh-huh.
We care more about the fact that, this might have been a first-time offender, and he might have never do this before, and he's sorry now, and he admit he do it. So yeah, let's give him a slap on the wrist. Meanwhile, this 13-year-old child has been dealt a life sentence. A life sentence where she will never forget the fact that this adult man took advantage of her, committed this crime against her, violated her, who ain't at 13 years old had no capacity to say that she had the wherewithal, the intelligence, and experience, the knowledge, the wisdom to condone this, even though she might not have said no. That child was raped. That's the point of having an age of consent. It says, unless you attain a certain age, you do not have the mental or emotional capacity to agree to this act happening. So the sentencing in crimes against children, sexual crimes against children, any violent crime against children, what Rise Bahamas, my organization, has been calling for is for the implementation of a mandatory minimum sentence for all violent crimes and sex crimes against children, because we now have a maximum sentence. But clearly those people who in the judiciary and the judicial system and the courts don't really care that rape carries a maximum sentence of life imprisonment. They don't care about that. So now we need to look at the flip side. What is the least you should be getting for sexually harming a child in this country? I say 25 years is a good place to start.
Okay. 25.
That's a good place to start. Like I told you, children that are sexually molested, have been victims of incest, rape, they have a life sentence. They will never forget what happened to them. Some of
Okay.
them have to go through psychological treatment and evaluation. Some of them act out. Some of them engage in sexual practices that they might not otherwise have engaged in because they just don't know how to process what happened to them. Some of them act out and become perpetrators of sex crimes against children when they become adults. We're not looking at that.
How do we better educate our people? How do we better make the public more aware and more cognizant or more sensitive to this and not turn a blind eye that, I think every one of us probably, I don't say everyone, I know a lot of people probably in neighborhoods know, but older men who prey on younger girls or older boys who prey on younger girls and kind of turn a blind eye. How do we get public to look at it in a different way and be less tolerant of it?
Sensitized, yeah. Well, it starts with you, Earl. You had your homeboy come and tell you, and he basically admitted that he preys on children. He's ex-predator. He admitted that to you, and he engaged you to the extent where he invited you to participate in those practices with him.
Yeah.
So what could have happened was, bro.
No, it wouldn't have
serious
happened.
about that?
It wouldn't have happened with me.
No, what I said is, what you could have said to him was, bro, wait, you was joking, right? You wasn't serious. And he's like, no, man, let's go, baby. They fresh, they whatever, right? And then you tell him, listen to me. If I ever even think that you are actually going to act on that. And you know what? In fact, you know what? I'm going to report you to the police right now.
You know what? I should have thought like that, but I was so angry. I just start cussing and carrying on, telling everybody, if I ever, I will call, if I see you with them at any point, and I would call the police and tell them and point it out to you. I say, you got 2 little baby daughters, and I got a daughter. You have to think of these kids. They cannot relate to you in any kind of way or how. They cannot.
He knows that. He knew better. He knew your character. He was just testing the waters.
They ain't gonna test me like that.
So you cuss him out, you threaten him, you this, you that. That's cool. But at the end of the day, maybe he thought, even if I do get caught, I only could get a slap on the wrist anyway, so it's worth the chance. It's worth taking the chance.
But you know something, and I've heard this from fellas, and he may have gotten and taking into account of the gentleman we spoke about who got 6 years, but the treatment he get when he get in jail will make that 6 years feel like 60. Particularly if he gets in a certain area where there's the bulkhead and there's a lot of young, they put you in court there. They have their own court.
Right. Well, you said, let's take this to the people. Let's find out if the people care about this. Like, maybe you're getting texters now who say
Yeah,
they care about
let's
us.
see what
Some
this.
who say they don't. Let's see what they say.
Pearlie, welcome back again. Seems like a week you were on the air. Keep us in the good work. I heard your ratings are high about the age consent for young ladies. Girls, it should be 18. But, the text said girls, boys too.
Boys and girls.
Both for all
Both.
citizens
Children,
at 18.
children. Yeah.
Great show as usual. I was 18 and a married woman. She was about 40. She left me hidden. I was king for a corner. Pearlie, I ain't messing with no females under the age of 21. And you have instances like that. I was a 18-year-old. I started to work at a particular bank, and this 32-year-old lady was coming on to me, took me to lunch, and then afterward to drinks. And I didn't pick up on it until the second time, and then started saying, we could do this. I could arrange a room and all that. And I ain't gonna lie, I can shame myself. I got scared. And I pulled, but still looking at it years later, 18-year-old, fresh out of high school, and getting ready to go off to college. And this 32-year-old who got a nice car, nice job, take me out to lunch, and spend good money at lunch with me, take me buy drinks in the night, and that's like, ball me. But I got scared, and I can get by. Some friends can tease me, but that's fine. I don't care. But I got scared because it kind of took my nerve.
You just became an adult. I don't know if you had any other experiences before that with other kids your age or whatever. You might not have. At the end of the day,
We ain't gonna talk that.
you just became an adult. And
Yeah.
she was 14 years your senior.
Yeah,
It might have been legal from a technical standpoint.
yeah.
But is it really fair to you to put you in that position where you feel pressure to do something with someone who's considerably older than you? Because when someone's a young person, like when I'm 10 and you're 15, yo, you a kid to me.
Yeah.
Plain and set.
Yeah,
But when I'm 30 and you're 25, okay.
yeah.
Now we can
Different thing.
talk.
Yeah, yeah.
So context is important as well. We're not trying to say, make people feel guilty, even if they're not breaking the law, because the law exists for a reason. Like you said, 18, old enough to get a license, old enough to vote, old enough to consent to sex, fine.
Okay. Let's read this
But
text.
again, a 70-year-old wanting to hit on an 18-year-old, we would look at that a certain way culturally because we're sensitive to,
Well, the first thing you can say,
context.
but the first thing every and anybody can say, but he got money. Because they're not going to believe an
the
18-year-old.
70-year-old.
An 18-year-old could fall in love with a 70-year-old. And there are instances where that has happened, yes. But 9 out of 10 times, everybody can say, yeah, he got money.
Right. It's the exception, not the rule.
Yes.
Or not the standard, yeah.
Pearlie, it could be a cultural thing. In most hold on, the phone this open up.
We're about to
All
talk
right,
about
in African countries, women marry. Even here in the Bahamas, women married very young. We live in a society that promotes all type violent movies and media that allow underage children to change their sex without parental permission. I'm not promoting the issue, but offering another point of view. Sad thing is we all fall to temptation sometimes, and one lapse of judgment can destroy your character.
Yeah, falling to temptation and lapsing in judgment could be one thing on one hand, but if it leads to you committing a crime against a child,
Yeah.
go to jail. Go to jail, my friend.
One Texas said, give me a break, men do it all the time. We know men do it all the time, but that means you give them a break or we just deal with it. We just turn a blind eye, and that's the question I put out there, Dexter. We need to sensitize the community that we don't put a blind eye to this.
No, everybody knows what's going on. Like the media, I have to give kudos again. The media in the past years have been doing an excellent job of bringing the cases of children that are raped that appear in the courts. We've been seeing tons more, reports of that in the media than we have seen. Even 10 years ago, we weren't seeing that level of reporting. So thank you so much to all the media houses for doing that work.
Yeah.
And now again, the ball is in the court of the public.
Yes.
Are you going to sign the petition and share your comments as to why children need to be protected and why the age of consent needs to be 18 and to ensure that a mandatory minimum sentence for sex crimes against children is in place? Or are you going to just talk about it? Are you just going to vent about it? Because we now have an opportunity through using our democratic power to essentially vote on these issues through signing the petition.org/Child Protection 242. So far, over 2,000 people have signed. 20,000.
Let's read this.
30,000.
Let's read this one. Good afternoon. I see enough of this in the healthcare. A 16-year-old consent for sex, but they can't get birth control, Plan B, STI testing, or treatment, etc. Further, until they are 18, any babies they have while underage legally belongs to the grandparents. That 16-year-old cannot carry her child to a clinic unless a guardian is with her. If the 16-year-old cannot consent for the care related to sex and its consequences, then raise the age to 18. A minor is a minor, plus I agree with your guest that statutory rape does not get enough punishment. An adult can scar a child for life, and if the case makes it to court and if he or she they are out before the child reaches adulthood, even if the sentences are consecutive, which never happens. Next texter says, Pearly, the lady wasn't a customs officer. Hey, this one you spoke about. No, we work in the bank. Thank you, media houses. Let's take our first break. I just realized the time. Let's take our first break. This is Pearly, Talking Heads, Thursdays, Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Talking Heads with Naughty, hosted by Earl the Pearl. On Guardian Radio 96.9 FM.
Seyen epi chita, s'il vous plaît. Yap rele pour radiographie. Tale, le Salton. Ou pas gen problème nan Forterrace Diagnostic Center, Image at Grosvenor's, nou pa jam fè plize rendez-vous résultat. Ça vle di, entre sorti. Si test depi stajou moutre écran, radiologue nou ka kondi alternatif test dépitage ça. Kounya la même. Ou bien, relez nous dans 328 81 57 pour faire rendez-vous à Forterrace Diagnostic Center, Image à Grosvenor, ou bien relez nous dans 328 81 57 faire rendez-vous à Forterrace Diagnostic Center, Image à Grosvenor, ou bien visiter location nous Kamakelod Chodia.
The meeting is called to order.
Josh will now provide us with the financial update. Josh.
A power outage now? Shucks.
Power outages are often unpredictable. Be prepared and power up your home with financing from CIBC Caribbean. We offer up to 100% financing on renews for your home. Conditions apply. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/renewable energy loans for more information and to apply online.
We're gonna give you a check every week for a year. Percy's Pension Plan. Island Game, keep you winning. Percy's Pension Plan. Dream big, we will help you live it. Percy's Pension Plan. Island Game, we got you. Percy's Pension Plan. From the friends you can trust. If winning is a must, come play the game you know, cause your best chance is with us. The most trustworthy name is Percy's Island Game. So put 20 on your account and ride this easy train at Percy's Island Game.
Cancer Treatment Centers of America is now City of Hope, creating one of the leading cancer care and research networks from coast to coast, providing more of what you need. More locations means more care closer to home. More specialists means more research means more breakthroughs. More advancements means more treatment options. And more options means more hope. Learn more at cancercenter.com.
John Shoes and Accessories is your one-stop shop for all your footwear needs. You will find what you're looking for among the growing collection of classic and trendy styles with new arrivals every week. John's covers the whole family and has great prices, helpful and friendly customer service. Your experience shopping with us will be time well spent. Shop with us online at www.johnshoes.com. John's also now carries small home appliances. So come on into John's, located on Rosetta Street in Palmdale and Carmichael Road West. John's, we put fashion at your feet.
We are bucket together when everybody out. Fried chicken, we are free, bucket for the crow. Share a bucket together, everybody go live. Crispy original when we're online. Bucket together under the new dance craze.
Hot KFC Summer Bucket Deal. Your favorite fried chicken and 4 buttery biscuits with options to add family fries, a 2-liter switcher, and 4 pineapple biscuits, starting at $20. KFC, it's finger licking good.
You're listening to Talking Heads with Naughty, hosted by Earl the Pearl. On Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM.
It's time for the buzz. What are you buzzing on? Brought to you by John Shoes.
And we're back. Pearly in the house with Tada Burrows today in Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. It's Talking Heads Thursday. And the buzz is, should be. Tada, you there, right?
I'm here.
Yeah, okay. Should we seriously move the legal age of consent up to 18, 21? Should we leave it alone? So far, I haven't heard anybody who thinks we should leave it alone. And I don't know if there's anybody who would be bold enough, is that the right word, to come on air and say that they will not want to see it go up. But we have a caller. So let's take this caller. Has to say good afternoon. Caller, you on there. How you doing?
Hey, Pearly, how you doing?
Right here, my brother. What's up?
And to your guest.
Good day.
You know what disturbs me about this whole thing, this age thing? What baffles me is that a 16-year-old in the Bahamas can give consent to sex, but a 16-year-old is still an inhabitant in a parent's home.
Yeah.
A 16-year-old cannot sit at a bar and order an alcoholic drink.
Uh-huh.
A 16-year-old cannot possess a driver's license.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a draconian law that we have, and it needs to be revisited because it's really disturbing.
Now imagine 30 years ago, it was 14.
Yeah, this is disturbing. It's disturbing. A 16-year-old can give consent to sex. That is just ludicrous. And that 16-year-old still lives with their parents, and their parents still have to take care of them. Think about that.
And have to sign for them to do anything. A 16-year-old can't jump on a plane and travel by themselves.
No. And that parent is still responsible to take care of that child. It's still a child.
Yep.
Who made these laws?
The caller is absolutely correct. And let's look at this too. I don't think the public is aware that when you spoke about, a child has to be in their parent's home, even if someone has reached the age of consent and thereby an adult that's having sex with them, if they're sleeping out for an extended period of time and things like that, that person who's having sex with that 16-year-old can be charged with abduction because that child doesn't live with you. That child is not you're not the guardian of the child. You're not a family member of that child. You see what I'm saying? So you have discrepancies.
So explain that to me, though. Explain that to me because it's crazy. How could the person be a 16-year-old by law can give consent to sex?
But listen to this now. The 16-year-old could give consent to sex. The 16-year-old gets pregnant. The 16-year-old has the baby before it's 17. And the 16-year-old cannot take the baby to the clinic unless the mother or father go with them. Their mother or father, the grandparents go with them. Or the guardian. What sense that make?
That is crazy.
I can do everything to make this baby, but I can't take care of the baby?
That is ludicrous.
Caller, guess what else?
Mm-hmm.
Even though a 16-year-old in the Bahamas currently can give consent to have sex with an adult, if a 16 or a 17-year-old is filmed having sex with an adult on camera, that is considered child pornography, and that person can still be charged and go to jail for creating and distributing child pornography.
You said on camera? Explain that.
Child pornography. So a child is a minor, any minor under the age of 18 in the Bahamas, if they're shown on camera having sex with an adult, that adult will be charged with child pornography.
It's all
so
mixed
you might
up.
have been able to give consent. Mixed up.
Yeah, they were drunk when they was making these laws. They were intoxicated. They were on cannabis.
But if you were to take a picture of a naked child and send it on the internet, and I get it, and I send it to you, Mystery, that's still a crime. I can be charged for that.
This law needs to be amended. It's crazy. It just needs to be thrown out and reshaped, remade.
No, I think we need to. I think that as a society needs to, and with the overseeing of social services, sit down and review the law and go through which is morally correct, which is the main thing, and that which is maturely correct. And that makes sense. Maturely correct. When I say maturely correct, I mean that the person's mindset is better matured.
These guys are making marijuana legal, but they're not visiting this with 16-year-olds being considered adults when it comes down to giving consent to sex.
And that's why I think we need to advocate more
and
push
they
more to
making
open the
cannabis
government's eyes.
legal.
Uh-huh.
They choosing what they want to make legal. You understand? Why is this? It's crazy.
It is. But hopefully they'll hear and they'll start doing what they have to do, and advocates will push. We'll get more people to sign the petition so we can send a proper letter to the government and say, listen, 20,000+ people are asking you to look at this and fix it. They will move once the voices are loud enough.
Anyway, y'all have a good one, man.
Thanks, my brother. Let me read these couple texts here. What did I do wrong here? Okay. 18 is fine, and I will support anyone who brings that petition out. Pearly, the sad part about the 16-year-old is she is thrown out by her parents. They will face the law, but a 16-year-old could give consent to sex. Wow. That's true. If we get another caller, I can take you right now, caller. If the parents catch you having sex, which you can give consent to, they can throw you out the house, and then the parents in trouble for you. Caller, you on the air. I
mix up.
I tell you, Kong Sal, how you doing, caller? What's up?
Good afternoon, Pearly. Good afternoon, Tada.
My brother, how
Good
are you?
afternoon, sir.
I am wonderful. You see, what we must do when we debate topics like this, sometimes we have to go back to its inception.
Okay.
To find out why.
Okay.
Now, let me say this, Bert.
Okay.
I do think that the age should be raised. However, this consent thing started at the age of 12 in the 1800s, basically more or less around the Arab countries and those countries when a girl's puberty started to come on the young lady.
Yeah, puberty kicks in.
They wanted to marry her, did it really to the age of marriage. And then it was changed to 14, and now it is 16, because what they are saying, especially in those countries, is that if you hike the age up higher, then my wife, if I with a view to marry her, can't give consent to sex, and then she's 18 or 20 or 21. That's why they left the sexual age down to 16. So with a view that if she marries an older person, she can consent to sex. That's the basic reason why.
Okay, back in the day.
From back in the day.
Okay. All right.
Okay, thanks for taking my call.
Thanks for that.
Thank you.
So
Yeah,
you see how that, and fine, that's how they thought back then. Things change.
Yes, 2024. We're in the Bahamas in 2024. We do not condone child marriage. We do not condone the rape of children, the sexual assault of children, the molestation of children. None of it. We do not accept it. And you will go to jail. But from now on, you will be getting higher sentences because that needs to be corrected. And I call on the Bahamas to initiate retroactive judicial redress by retrying all the cases of sexual assaults and rapes of minors that have occurred in the past 10 years. Because We need to rectify all of those sentences that were issued to adults that have committed sex crimes against children.
That's a whole new kind of worm you're talking there. Because once you see, not just that, once you look at that, then that fellow who get armed robbery, that fellow who get murder, all of them can call for us to revisit, and they get. I understand your point, and I would agree with it, but you got to be prepared for the ramifications of what it would entail us doing in the total judicial. Caller, you on there? How you doing? Sorry, caller, you on there?
Go on.
Impatient. Caller, you there?
Hello.
Hey, how you doing? Don't listen to the radio. Listen to your phone.
Yeah. I know that we are all mixed up in the worldly life, right? But if we understand the anatomy of a lady, you all understand that when she has her first ovary burst open, that she is now fruitful to give labor for her child.
Uh-huh.
And at this age is when they are most fruitful to give to the child. It's only we are only understanding the world as we see it.
Uh-huh.
But as the body's supposed to be, they were supposed to have kids now we understand the world to say, hey, wait till your 20s to have babies and wait till your 30s. That's when the body is dying. It's not in them ages when you're supposed to have the babies. But I understand what everybody is saying about the consent. So what if the world would change the laws to adhere to the child? Say, well, now they can give consent at the age of 16, but now they can have a driver's license, and now they can have their own home. What if we made that just adult age? What if we are looking at it wrong?
Well, yeah, I'd say this. A lot of countries, and the Bahamas had it at driver's license at 17. A lot of countries had it at a younger age. And because of the maturity level of young people, age limit up because of the maturity level and because of things that younger people weren't, and not all, plenty responsible, but a good set of young people weren't responsible enough. And drinking too was moved. And when I went to college in Minnesota, it was 19 in Minnesota, it was 18 in Wisconsin, and now it's 21 across the whole United States. Because they saw the effects on younger people at 16, 17, 18, 19 drinking.
Yes, I understand that, right?
So to say the world will go backwards? Nah.
No, it's not backwards now.
Well, when you say backwards, you're taking a step back.
It's more to let's make it more legible that they can live.
I don't know if that's called making it more legible to live. It's going backwards because the law was at one time you could drive at 16. Now it's moved to 18. At one time you could drink at 18. One time you could drink at 18. Now it's 21. So it is going backward to 18.
Yeah. Oh, in more actuality, it would be backwards. Yeah. It would be more right. Also, they shouldn't be working. Maybe they should stay home and get pregnant.
See, now you can go out another call. I can let you go now, and you're trying to put me in problems. What's the crime for two 16-year-olds having sex with each other? Are we saying two teenagers should go to jail for having sex with? At this point, two 16-year-olds can have sex with each other and it's not a crime, and based on the law. Yes, the parents can be charged for child endangerment, and that the male child who was seen on CCTV should have been rescued from his kidnapper, whoever he is, with not his guardian, and did not have permission from his parents to house him. It's like the Randy Fraser case on the girl's fresh, so that the girl's fresh, so leave that good past. I don't care how the girls is. You have, as a person of age, you have to have more responsibility, and you have to think more responsible. Don't you agree with me, caller? I guess the call.
Hello, I'm here.
Don't you agree? You should be, as an adult, you should be taking the responsibility.
You mean if two kids have sex?
No. Of an older person fooling with a younger person.
Man, you don't know that I have 3 daughters studying.
Okay.
And so, I always look at when I was a little fella, young man, and now as a man with children and girls, the whole conversation changed. And at the end of the day, when you look at the ramifications of a child 16 could give consent to have sex, but can't give consent to nothing else. So when she get pregnant, it fall on me and my wife.
Exactly.
Okay, so at the end of the day, figure then, when you talk about when the law was established, obviously that law was established with them 6 fellas, pardon I, who probably didn't, we know why, okay. At the end of the day, but I with you all, let's change that, because I don't think it's fair to no parent that their child could give consent for 16, and then, that's abuse, man. I think it's time now to change it. I think we need to protect the kids,
And that's a big problem in homes because, that gives a lot of kids thinking that they could be adults and have sex, but they don't understand what comes with a lot of these things, and then it still falls on the parent.
Amen.
And so the law has to change. Hopefully those law policy makers agree with us because some of them wanted to stay that way because that's what they target.
I think they agree with us. They just have to make it a priority and make it happen. Right. And what is priority and how we should better prioritize some of these bills and maybe move some ahead of some others and get this one done.
Well, unless they love no young children like me and you, and they just grandfather and grandmother, then that means they done past their time because they aren't with what's going on.
I'm a grandfather and I'm a grandfather and I'm turning my baby 28. So I have an understanding of what, as a grandfather, I don't want to see my grandson because he's good looking like his grandpa. I don't want to be taking advantage of him at a young age.
Man, I feel it. So if we as civil society could understand that, and these men supposed to be linked men and who control the law, well, I think we don't have to tell them what's important. If they fill in the gaps, whether they grandfathers or fathers with male or female children engaging in sex or not, or wanting to, and the damage it has on the family.
Then sometimes you got to nudge them a little bit. What do you say?
Well, let's nudge them quickly because I'm ready to get that change. Because my youngest 13,
oh, yeah.
And I tell her books before boys because boys.
Hey, I say the same thing. Books before, and I said boys and books don't mix.
No, so and then from a daddy who was so it's kind of good that we could change from our errors of ways.
Yes.
And how we were so wrongly taught as young men to think that the first thing we need to do is have sex with children, with women, versus getting to know them and everything, then marriage and then children.
Yeah.
So it's a good start. Have a good day.
Thank you, my brother. Read this text.
Thanks so much for that last caller.
Good afternoon, Pearlie and Tadar. Very good show. I don't think the age of consent should be 16. It needs to change to at least 18 or 21. They are mixed up. A child cannot sign a consent form to have surgery, so how can she give consent to sex? Continue to fight, Tadar. There's many of us who support you. Something's wrong with your caller. The body is not dying. He sounds like he supports the archaic law. What does a child know at 16? Nothing. And change the age of consent to 20. I'll be just about out of time, so I can let you have the last say. Just tell us about you can sign up, where they can find it, give the website.
Yeah, we've had people speaking now about the Bahamian people. The citizens are the new government.
Yeah.
And there are ways to effect substantive change without just voting once every 5 years. One of the ways you can affect substantive change is to sign a petition like this one that's on change.org/child protection 242. The number's 242. Join the 2,000 people that have signed it so far. Let's send a resounding message that for too long, we have relied on the powers that be, those in positions of power, to ensure the protection and justice for our children. We know that throughout the world, half of the people who are victims of sexual crimes in the worldwide, are girls that are under the age of 15 years old. That's a very sobering statistic, but it also makes me wonder how many young boys have been molested, abused, but they've never felt comfortable enough to come forward. So I would venture to say the same plight that our girls have faced in terms of these atrocities, our boy child and our boy children have also been facing silently for so long. The Bahamas is in a unique position to do something. Like we have a very small population. If we were to take to Parliament just a few hundred people and consistently go back, if we were to sign these petitions, if we were to continue to speak out on the radio talk shows, write letters to the editor, attend and share town hall meeting information, and actually be vocal, we could see such major change in this country that we wouldn't end up having a Minister of National Security that seeks to lend legal advice to someone who rapes a child.
We're out of time.
There are a lot of things we can change, and we just have to be bold enough and audacious enough and big. We're gonna dictate to you what's important in our country. And I would venture to say that for many generations, Our children have been suffering and unprotected and not getting the justice that they deserve. And if we could have one thing that's said about the Bahamas, other than being a place that is known for our sun, sand, sea, and our tourism product, we could be known as a country where children come and where children live that is safe.
Amen. You said it. Thank you so much, Tada. Thanks for giving me this time. I want to thank all my callers, the texters. It's been a great 1 hour. This is Pearlie for Guardian Radio 96.9 Talking Heads Thursdays. When we get back, we can talk some sports and try to touch a little bit on what's going on with our Olympic team. Thank you so much, Tada. Have a great day there.
Thank you. I love you. Bye.
Okay.
You're listening to Talking Heads with Naughty, hosted by Earl the Pearl. On Guardian Radio 96.9 FM.
We go everywhere. Shop early at Janae's Chesapeake Road annual back to school sale going on now. Get up to 20% off on all school items in stock. Yes, all school items in stock. Shirts, jumpers, skirts, boys long and short pants, school neckties, school monograms. Shop early and don't miss out at Janae's Uniform Center Chesapeake Road's annual back to school sale going on now. Remember, we go everywhere. Beat the rush and save, save, save at Janae's annual sale now.
With fine style, with elegant taste, then Fine Threads is your place. If you want those slacks hemmed or just taking the waist, then Fine Threads is your place. If you want to look suave and debonair everywhere you go, like you're supposed to be in a video, want to step out and look great, then Fine Threads is your place. With fine style, with elegant taste, then Fine Threads is your place, is your place, is your place.
The Grand Bahama News is available every Tuesday in the Nassau Guardian. You can buy your local paper at Freeport Convenience Stores, Western Bakery, De Gregory's Fine Foods, and Bellevue Gifts. Now is the time to reach your Grand Bahama Market with affordable packages, including print and digital. Call GB News sales representative Kavandre at 822-6717 or message him on WhatsApp for ad rates. Classified ads are now available every Tuesday. Everything Grand Bahamian, every Tuesday in the Nassau Guardian.
That's astonishing.
Where is the remote? Who turned the TV off?
Sorry, hun. It's a power outage.
Power up your home with a renewable energy system. CIBC Caribbean offers up to 100% financing on residential photovoltaic systems to keep you powered up during outages. Ask your relationship manager or sales specialist about our renewable energy loans. You may also visit CIBCFCIB.com/renewable energy loans for more information. Conditions apply.
Feeling lucky? Here's Cuban Willie's numerology report. Brought to you by the Island Game.
Buenos dias, soy Joe Cuban Willie, and it's Thursday. Time for my numerology report with the cuatro pelotas for you today. All brought to you, of course, by the Island Game. And today's lucky number in the form 2, 2, 8, 8, 2, 2, 8, 8, the 22, 88. That's your forward today. Play it and win with the Island Game. Stay winning, my friend.
We're gonna give you a check every week for a year. Percy's Pension Plan. Island Game. Keep you winning. Percy's Pension Plan. Dream big, we will help you live it. Percy's Pension Plan. Island Game. We got you. Percy's Pension Plan. From the friends you can trust. If winning is a must, go play the game you know, cause your best chance is with us. The most trustworthy name is Percy's Island Game. So put 20 on your account and ride this easy train at Percy's Island Game.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
You're listening to Talking Heads with Naughty, hosted by Earl the Pearl. On Guardian Radio 96.9 FM.
And good afternoon again. So good to be back here with you. This is Pearlie in the house at Guardian Radio 96.9. It's a Talking Heads Thursday, and we're going to talk some sports. I'm going to have a little guest. We can talk a little bit about the Olympic situation, but let's get right into it because I get robbed for this every time, so I'm not going to waste time because I don't need to hear from certain people robbing me. Today is Thursday. We're going right into today in sports history. Today is Thursday, the 18th day of July, 2024. Today in sports history in 1927, Ty Cobb set a Major League Baseball record by getting his 4,000th career hit. He hit 191 before he retired in 1928. In 1964, Pete Rose of the Cincinnati Reds hit the only Grand Slam home run of his career. In 1970, Ron Hunt of the San Francisco Giants was hit by a pitch for the 119th time of his career. In 1985, Jack Nicklaus II, at age 23 years old, made his playing debut on the pro golf course at the Quad City Open in Coral Valley, Illinois. In 2000, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was arrested on suspicion of driving under the influence of marijuana. He was stopped for speeding and then failed to pass a sobriety test. Abdul-Jabbar was the leading scorer in the National Basketball NBA history at the time. And today's sports quote, when you are playing for the national championship, it's not a matter of life or death. It's more important than that. Doug Doherty. That's interesting. Sometimes those kids look at it like that as it's much more than a matter of life or death. I've seen kids break down crying and everything like that. So, who's in? Oh, let's take a look at the local scene. And find it now, 'cause I'm moving a little slow today. That last show was very sobering, very, very sobering. In the sports section today, Strawn transfers to Nebraska, Bahamian national record holder, to be healthy at the start of the season. Blue Marlins finished second at the Perfect Game tournament. Kerr optimistic heading into his first Olympics. That's Ian Kerr. So, Strawn transfers. You know this what I call it in college sports right now is we call it free agency. That's what I've been calling it. Because it's so easy now for these kids to transfer from one university to the next. They just gotta say they don't want to be anymore. They could opt to get into the transfer portal, and then they could work out with a school. And it normally is what the NIL is: name, image, likeness, contract. The school can help you get. So if you could go with Nike, and Nike can give you a $5 million scholarship to play at the University of Miami, then you can transfer there. While I don't have a problem because them schools cleaning up. And when I say cleaning up, particularly in football, those SEC schools, Southeastern Conference schools, clean up. It's $1 billion industry. Pay the same people who you exploiting, and I want to use, for lack of a better word, exploiting, who you got playing for Georgia and Nebraska and Notre Dame and Florida State and Alabama, and people packing the stadiums to see them, and people just all over the place and to see them. Get them a little something back. So arrange for them to make that money so they can live the good life. Listen, I had an opportunity to talk to a couple of our minor league baseball players. Some of them spend over $2,000 a month just on supplements that they want to take to keep their bodies right, which is legal supplements recognized by the MLB as okay to take. A lot of athletes spend a lot of money on supplements, on different things. Cardiotherapists, physical therapists, massages, all kind of things, having to go to the gym, that costs money to do. So when you look at what it costs an athlete to do to keep his body right, her body right, tremendous amount of money they got to spend. So yes, I don't have a problem with NIL at all. I like NIL because I think it leveling the playing field a little bit more in my belief. Because ain't everybody want to go to Alabama anymore because you don't got to go to Alabama to get the recognition. You could go to another school. You could go to Colorado State with Deion Sanders and still make that kind of money and be okay. So, that don't bother me at all. So I wish Brother Strawn the best. He's our hope for the 2028 Olympics. So, and if Nebraska has a good, Nebraska usually does well in the NCAA track and field championship. And I think their strength is the field events, if I remember correctly. So it might be a good move for him. So what's happening? Sheldon Longley? Welcome, Guardian staff reporter, Guardian sports reporter, sports editor.
Yes.
Sports editor.
And also the vice president of the BAA for public relations and marketing.
See, I wasn't sure if you was coming with that hat on too.
I don't know. I don't really know where I want to come on with the hat today. After all the fire sound that's going back and back. And I'm happy to be here. Good day to you. Good day, Bahamas.
Good to have you here. So our Olympic team has been picked, but not without controversy. But I believe the Bahamas ain't right unless we get some kind of controversy. And I think that's just the joy. I think we get off on controversy.
You can expect that.
Everywhere.
Every 4-year period is going to be some type of controversy, right? But
so give us the lowdown. I understand that you guys were supposed to put out according to my esteemed colleague Naughty, and I haven't seen. Have you put out the statement?
We did. Our statement was put out late last night. It was circulated today by our president, Mr. Jamaica Watcher, just detailing the entire situation.
Help me with that now. Educate me on that.
No, unfortunately, we understand. There's probably still a small fraction of the country, the populace, are still blaming the BAAs for what happened.
Okay.
But we want our hands to be cleaned. The rules have always been in place. We have always followed the rules as it relates to national team representation, right? And the rules in this instance were that the top 3 will go to nationals. Now, had Shania finished in the top 3, we would have gladly recommended her to be a part of the team.
Okay.
But she ran for us at the Railways, and she helped us to qualify the team. And we're happy. We're ecstatic. We're thankful. We're grateful. And we have always said from day one, why not reward her with a trip to Paris, but as a guest?
Okay.
But as far as the Olympic team representation for the Bahamas is concerned, it should always be the top 3 in each gender for the mixed relay.
So the sole decision on this is the Bahamas Olympic Committee?
Well, we had our recommendation in.
Okay.
And we were blindsided.
I like how you
we followed through, like our president said, through external sources.
Okay.
That Shania Adley was actually included in the team, and Lakathia was not.
It must be heartbreaking for Lakathia.
It was. It was initially, I'm sure. It still is, because she still isn't a part of the team.
I feel she's not even they're not going to allow her to travel?
She will be traveling.
But she's still not a part of the team.
The Bahamas Olympic Committee has said she will travel more in a special, unique capacity where she will get the Olympic experience and still be able to live in the athletes' village. I'm not sure exactly how that works, because that's the same thing we was arguing for on behalf of Shania.
Shania, yeah.
Let her go and get this experience. She is a young one coming up. She is the one who finished 5th in the trials.
Yeah.
Right?
See, and I think what Bahamians have to understand, it wasn't Shania, and the 2 males who ran that qualified by coming first in the
There was no individual qualification.
It was the Bahamas national team that came.
It was the team that qualified.
And many times you would have had the U.S. 4x1 team qualify, and maybe one of those fellas will be on the team that went to the Olympics.
Sometimes zero. It all depends on the situation and the competition.
I think we mixed up understanding that she was on the team that qualified. That doesn't mean she qualified. I mean the Bahamas national team qualified.
Yes, indeed. We were in a situation where we needed somebody to step up to the plate. And she did, and my thought process was always, like I said, from day one, as well as the BAAs, she should be rewarded with a trip to the Olympics.
Yes.
But just not in an official team capacity, right?
She couldn't serve as an alternate?
No.
Okay.
No, the alternate would be reserved for the person who finished 3rd.
So the only 2?
Only the 2, the top 2 well, that's up to the coaches. That's going to be up to the Olympic coaches. But in most circumstances, your fastest 2 will get the opportunity to actually run on the track.
Oh, I thought each country put up three members for each event. They have to be a qualified.
Well, every country have their own rules.
Okay.
Our rules is that the top 3 would go from each gender, and then when they actually get in Paris, it's up to the Olympic coaches in determining who runs based on fitness and fastest times and all of that.
Okay.
But in most situations, it would be the top 2 from the national trials.
Okay.
And that's Javonia and Quincy Penn.
I gotta ask this question. I know you.
I know you will. You don't shy.
The president made.
Which president, first of all?
President of the B3A is my good dear friend Rumiko Archer.
Okay.
Made a statement about a week or so ago, and some people said that opened the can of worms. They say it may not have gone over as badly when the BOC made his announcement. If that wasn't said up front, and started people all over the country talking, "Oh, she's on the team and qualified, she should be there."
Well, it might have been a bit premature. Our president, he was honest. He said we made recommendations to the Bahamas Olympic Committee.
Okay.
I think the whole was taken out of context by the journalists.
Okay.
And I don't think they should have actually rammed that story. The next day, it was actually printed that this particular person is not going to Paris, when the president never said that.
Right.
He just said we made recommendations.
Right.
And anybody in that capacity as a sports journalist should know that the Olympic Committee is the one that makes the final determination who goes on the Olympic team.
Yeah.
So It was premature.
Yeah, each sport sends its recommendation letter in.
Yes.
And then we look at it, and you may recommend 3 people to go to the Olympic committees and may taking none.
Exactly. You might represent 20,
Yeah.
and the BOC decide to take none.
Yeah.
You know, it's all up to them. It's their team. You know, they have the final determining factor in that respect. And we saw that come into play in the past couple of days.
Okay, okay.
You know?
Let's take this caller. I know somebody anxious to got something here to say, so let's see. Caller, you on there. How you doing?
Really,
Hey.
good day again to you and your guest.
Hey, my brother. Welcome back.
Now, both of you sounds good explaining what y'all explaining and that how it should go and whatever the case may be.
Yes, sir.
I was athletically inclined myself all my life.
Okay.
Laying down flyers and all of them.
Okay.
And when it came to picking time flyers was of paramount importance. You understand? Because the fellow who ran 10 flat, in a way, he was going to get on that team. If he didn't run 9, 8 with the rest of us. You understand? Or something around there.
Yeah.
You know, because I give it up to you all sound good, but y'all saying is utter nonsense.
In which way?
That girl came third, and the other one came fifth. There's no way the one that came fifth supposed to make that team.
I'm not saying that. I never once said that should happen. I was saying what Behemoths was saying out there when they were making noise. But I agree that the rules are the rules and the top 3 should travel.
Let me tell you something. I've been in the Bahamas all my life. I'm 61.
Okay.
That's what they did was carry favoritism. Nothing else.
In another way, it could be called nepotism, but no, that ain't family.
Put your best foot forward in a relay or put your best athlete in a relay.
I think the
So
president.
tell you again, that's utter nonsense what he talking about.
What did he say? What did he say was nonsense?
I'm not talking about someone on the team or something and that ain't the criteria. I go with
No. Understand what I'm saying? I said some people out there are shouting because she was on the qualifying team at the World Relays that she should be on, and I'm saying the individuals are not the qualifiers. It's the Bahamas national team is the qualifiers. Many times back in the day, you would see U.S., Britain teams, European teams will run their B squad and make the Olympics, and then run their A squad in the Olympics.
Well, okay, I stand to be correct.
Okay, sir.
Like going in,
But I can't let you jump on my guess. I can't let you.
I'm actually agreeing with you.
CNN to make a correction, but what happened to the young lady is utter nonsense.
And we're agreeing, I guess, more diplomatically, Mr. Longley's agreeing, but he's saying that the B3As made the recommendation that the top 3 go, and the Bahamas Olympic Committee made a different move.
And the thing is, that the young lady that was on the team, she even didn't come forth.
She got 5th. Yeah, so what happened to the 4th place finisher?
In essence, the 4th place finisher actually have a case.
So who's the 4th place finisher?
That was Consider Thompson from Grand Bahama. One of the twins.
We need to get this place right. We need to stop that. We need to stop it.
So
it's almost like the whole Bahamas need to do over.
If the women's 4x4 team had qualified, Consider Thompson would have gotten the nod or with the 5th place finisher because she finished 4th.
And when you're making me over, bring me with curly hair and break.
Darker the berry, the sweeter the juice, my brother. So if Consider finished, if it was based on qualifying,
yes. Like I said, if the women's 4x4 team had qualified,
then Consider should have been the person running.
Yes, normally you go your top 5 for that event, which means Shania would have been in the mix as well.
You know, I saw this little thing going around, and I know Brother Fish well. I don't think his daughter saying that played a factor in it. It came across, and a lot of people think that.
I think it was taken out of context.
His daughter had the last say, right? I know that's not so.
I understand where Fish is coming from. You know, I don't think he said it the way he intended to say it.
Okay.
You know, he's acting on emotions, I believe. And I believe the country is acting on emotions.
We're emotionally upset about it. You know, from when Dramico made the announcement, we got involved. And I was one too. Mm-hmm. Oh, she on the team, she should go, even though she was a part of the qualifying, even though it's the national. I was pissed, basically once kind of saying that too.
But you wasn't alone in that.
But when I was thinking about it, when I started to think about it, what is fair has got to be fair, and that ain't fair to the young
one. You want to always remember, you know, this is the Olympics, man.
Yeah, this is
no regional championships. This is the biggest sports meet in the world, and you will want your best athletes competing.
And about not only that, but it's every athlete who take to the track or whatever sport their dream is to be to the best of it.
Yes, indeed.
So I know. So how do we pronounce the young lady's name?
Shania Adley.
No, accusation. It's easy.
Lekathia. Yes.
That's her dream. She missed it because of COVID.
She missed it because of COVID in 2021.
Who says that she's going to be healthy in 2028? This is her chance. Callie on there. How you doing?
Hey, how you doing, brother?
I'm good, my brother. What's up?
And good afternoon to you. Yeah. So what I want to say is I think a lot of this, when we look at the root of some of these issues, is to the extent of how serious we take the sporting complex in our country. And I think like issues like this should be solved with who has the best time at all times. And so what if your mommy or your daddy get mad? If we're going to compete at the highest level, then the best time, the best athlete goes all the time, and the rest go home and you sit around in a circle with your mommy and your daddy and sing Kumbaya. That's my thought.
I think, thank you so much. I think Shania is ranked, but 400 places behind. Look,
I'm not sure of the international rankings. Right?
Okay, I think I saw some. I don't know how accurate that was.
Our main qualifier is always the nationals. You cannot understate the importance of your national championships. The head-to-head competition is vital.
Let me ask this question. What if Shania had made the Olympic qualifying time and still come fifth? She would have been the only athlete
if she had made the qualifying time, that means the third place finish would have made the qualifying time as well.
No, I'm just saying, I'm talking maybe she qualified Olympic qualifying time to qualify as officially for the Olympics.
It's still top three.
So she would not have traveled still? I mean, in a real sense.
It would have been up to the BOC to take her as a guest. Like how they're doing with
I thought
it still would have been top three in each gender. That's how the rules are set up.
Even though those top three did not meet the qualifying time for the Olympics.
Well, so you're saying if they didn't meet the qualifying standard at the trials?
Right. Did they meet all them made the qualifying standard at the trials? None of them made the qualifying at the trials. Let's say Shania in the T-Bird Flies track meet 2 weeks before that she met the qualifying standard.
And none of them others made the standard for the season.
Right.
She would have automatically been in the she would have been the open event.
Okay. She would have been the only one because once one person qualify, you can't bring no one else, correct?
No, you have up to three.
Even though if they didn't go out meet the time.
Shawnee qualified based on world ranking points.
Okay.
Right? So you have up to three who could qualify in an event.
Okay.
So if she had made the standard early in the season, she would have been automatically entered for that event.
Okay.
Which would have placed her in the relay pool.
Okay.
So she would have been straight.
Okay. But the bottom line is, we
still get to show up at the national trials and compete. It's my
this thing waving you.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then you still get to prove fitness in every regard.
So let's talk. All right. I mean, and this is the controversy, which is actually shadowing or blinding us from the seeing what we should be talking about is who all on the Olympic team.
We got 20 members, 18 athletes in athletics, and 2 swimmers.
Who are the 2 swimmers?
2 swimmers are Lamar Taylor. He'll be swimming in the 100-meter free. And Renishka Gibbs. She'll be swimming in the women's 50-meter free.
Now, we always had a young lady who swam the 800. What's her name?
Ariana?
Yeah, no. Ariana's the 50-meter.
Joanna.
Ariana was our 50-meter sprint artist.
Yeah, Joanna.
I guess Ariana's retired now?
Yeah, Ariana's retired.
Okay.
Joanna, remember, she had got, I think, suspended a couple of years back for performance.
Oh, okay, yes. I thought that was cleared up.
I don't want to go too much in depth in that. Yeah. But I understand that was extended.
Oh, boy.
Yeah,
okay.
So she's not back as yet. She's not competing competitively as yet.
So you know who the other athletes are now?
For track and field?
Yeah. We have 18 for track and field.
18 for track and field.
No wrestler? The wrestler?
No, the wrestler's not there.
Okay.
So 18 for track and field, 2 for swimming. Track and field, you get Wani McCoy, 100 and 200 meters, men's 100 and 200 meters. Terrence Jones, men's 100 meters. You have Steve.
I thought Terrence specially was the 2.
Especially both he does the sprints.
Okay,
he does the sprints. So he's a national record holder in the 1.
So he's not running the 2.
No, he qualified on ranking points for the 100.
Okay, all right.
And you have Stephen Gardner, men's 400 meters, Olympic champion, defending champion.
Yeah.
You have Anton Andrews, great story, men's 110-meter hurdles.
Okay, yes, I heard that story. It's really a great story. So congratulations.
Fantastic story. Congratulations to him. You have the ageless veteran, Donald Thomas.
That is a story. That's a story. So people at the Olympics carried. I should call my people at the NBC. They should. That's a story.
Donald's my boy.
Yeah. He's 41, right?
5th Olympics, 40.
40.
Yeah. He just turned 40 earlier this month. Right?
Wow.
And still beating the young boys.
Wow.
So kudos to Donald, man. Great
kudos,
job.
Yeah.
You have Ken Mullings.
Yes.
First time we're going to have a Bahamian compete in the multi-events at the Olympics.
In the decathlon?
Men's decathlon.
Okay.
He's qualified through world ranking points.
Wow, that's wonderful.
That's awesome. You have, of course, the mixed relay team, Wendell Miller, Alonzo Russell, and Zion Miller.
Okay.
On the men's side.
Okay.
You know, Zion is the young guy. I think he's 17 or 18.
Yes.
And on the women's side, Giovanna Valcott, Quincy Penn, and Shania Adley.
So Shawnee's not on the...
Shawnee for the women's 400 meters.
She's not going to run the mix?
She's not entered for the mix as yet, but things could change in Paris. You know, you know, our athletes tend to, you know, prioritize their individual events over the relays.
Well, I think the Bahamas have gone to expect Shawnee and Stevie to bring medals home.
Well, we can need them.
I think we expect that. Any other athlete? Oh, Devon Charlton, you didn't talk about?
I didn't talk about the women yet.
Sorry.
We have 3 hurdlers in the women's 100-meter hurdles. The first time ever we've had 3 athletes in any hurdles event at the Olympics.
Okay.
Devon Charlton, Tanisha Cartwright, and Charisma Taylor. Congratulations to those 3 ladies.
Congratulations, yeah.
Yeah. Anthony qualified in the 1 and the 2, but she shut down her season due to shin sprints.
Yeah.
So she is unable to go. We also
well, that's a big loss. I know. I feel like this would have been her year for a medal.
And she is peaking. She peaked last year.
Yeah.
You know, we also have Rima Otobo.
Yes.
Women's javelin.
Okay.
You know, first time Olympian. Charisma Taylor again, women's triple jump.
That's wonderful. This is the first time we have a woman in triple. No, we had somebody in triple jump before. No, it's long jump. We had a lot of women.
I can't remember if Jackie Edwards did triple jump.
I was going to ask you with
long jump for sure at the Olympics. I'm not sure if she did the triple. Okay. I think she might have did the triple.
Okay.
Right. I hope I'm not forgetting anybody. I think that's the full 18 members right there.
Okay.
Yeah, that should be the full 18 members right there.
Only one javelin thrower in
one javelin thrower. Keyshawn came close, but he had that elbow injury and he was never really able to get back to that 85-meter mark. You know,
but based on what we see in the javelin, we should have probably multiple Olympians in 2028.
We could have up to 3 or 4.
Yeah.
You know, I like what I'm seeing on the junior side from athletes like DRA and Tasia Stubbs.
I know when DRA born.
Yeah, you do?
Yeah, I know the family well. Their grandmother was a very dear friend of my sister.
Tremendous young athlete.
Yes.
She's a 2-time gold medalist at Carifta.
Okay.
And the Carifta record holder under 17 girls.
Yes, yes.
Tasia Stubbs, gold medalist at Carifta. You know, Keyshawn Strong, gold medalist at Carifta.
Okay.
You know, Rima Otobo might be there again. You know, so
she's that young, right?
She is that young.
So she's Carifta again.
She's only 21 years old.
Oh, so she's too old for Carifta.
She's too old for Carifta.
But she probably could be there for that. She'll only be 25.
Yes, indeed.
All
of them are young.
Yeah.
Keyshawn is only 20. You know, DRA and Tasia are both 16.
Yeah.
They're both 16.
DRA soccer. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, and Tasia, the QC comment. You know, I don't want to spur up anything, any school rivalry, but I also noticed with that Olympic story with Lakathia and Shania. Lakathia went to SAC.
Oh, she did?
Yeah, she went to SAC.
Okay, see, I just upset now.
She's a soccer.
I just mad now. I didn't think you drop my SAC girl.
And Ramel's 13-year-old daughter goes to QC.
Yeah, I know. And Ramel in his statement said, my daughter's out with her QC friends and SAC friends, and somebody say, tell him keep SAC out his mouth. He trying to go to QC.
It was just the QC friends.
He said, he can't speak for my SAC people.
You know, so that story is out there on social media as well. You know.
Yeah.
But you guys always have a lot of Olympians, man.
Yeah. Yeah, and they smart kids too.
Yeah, they are.
Let's break. When we come back, we can talk about a little bit about the athletes, what we can expect from some of them, and then we'll get into the picks. And we'll be out of here. This is Pearly Talking Heads Thursdays on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. We'll be right back.
All those loans I had were so overwhelming. Fidelity's debt consolidation loan combined all my loan payments into one easy payment with a built-in savings plan that pays me unbeatable interest. It's time to make that move to Fidelity. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Are you looking for a fresh experience? Look no further than Fresh Market. Our store is stocked with the freshest produce, meats, and dairy, all sourced locally and internationally for the best quality. With our commitment to freshness and our friendly associates, your shopping experience is sure to be a breeze. Come visit Fresh Market today and taste the difference freshness can make.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
John Shoes and Accessories is your one-stop shop for all your footwear needs. You will find what you're looking for among the growing collection of classic and trendy styles with new arrivals every week. John's covers the whole family and has great prices, helpful and friendly customer service. Your experience shopping with us will be time well spent. Shop with us online at www.johnshoes.com. John's also now carries small home appliances. So come on into John's, located on Rosetta Street in Palmdale and Carmichael Road West. John's, we put fashion at your feet.
We are bucket together when everybody out. Fried chicken we are free, bucket for the crow. Share a bucket together, everybody go live. Crispy original when we online. Bucket together under the new dance craze.
Hot KFC Summer Bucket Deal. 8 pieces of your favorite fried chicken and 4 buttery biscuits with options to add family fries, a 2-liter switcher, and 4 pineapple biscuits, starting at $20. KFC, it's finger licking good.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Parents, it's that sweet time of year again.
What are you talking about? Any Christmas yet?
The kids are going back to school, so pick up your copy of the Nassau Guardian's Back to School Supplement, cause
it's the most wonderful time of the year.
Put your students in the latest styles at the lowest prices, because summer break is almost over, and our Back to School Supplement is filled with brand name back to school supplies at discounted prices, store locations, hours, and contact details.
It's the happiest season of all.
Advertisers, call the Nassau Guardian today at 302-2300 or call your account executive to get in on the 2 insertion deal. If it's uniforms, shoes, books, backpacks, calculators, art supplies, laptops, tablets, or whatever is on your back to school supply list, your ad should be in the Nassau Guardian's Back to School Supplement.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Living with a neurological condition shouldn't define you. At Cleveland Clinic in Florida, we do whatever it takes to make life better today while discovering new treatments for a brighter tomorrow. From epilepsy management to specialized spine care and brain tumor surgery, we're delivering world-class neurology care for the day-to-day, for the days you live for every care in the world. Visit clevelandclinicflorida.org/Caribbean.
You're listening to Talking Heads with Naughty, hosted by Earl the Pearl. On Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM.
And we're back. Talking Heads Thursday Sports Edition, Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Let me get into these couple of texts here. Ian Kerr for the 200-meter track.
That's what I meant.
And I mentioned Ian's current name because the story in the Guardian. Your story in the Guardian about him today.
Yes, I apologize, Ian. Ian. Ian Mann's 200 meters.
You are right, Mr. Rodney. The body is designed to exhale carbon dioxide and not inhale. So if a man... How does come up? You text the wrong place, soldier? He calling me Mr. Rodney. Yes, our chronic listeners, but they listen to every show and texting to every show. Yeah. All right, so actually there's no WNBA games today. There's no baseball games today. So this is how we can do the picks today. We can pick the athletes who we think can medal. So let's start with the men's 100 meters.
Well, I gotta start from the top.
Okay.
You know, I got with the defending champion in the men's 400 meters.
Well, that was the easy part. Okay. Stevie is in top form.
Not really in top form, but he could definitely win a medal.
Okay.
You know, maybe a gold. Hopefully a gold, right? Hopefully he could repeat. Normally by this point in the season, Stephen would have already run under 44 seconds.
Is he? You think he's holding it because, you know, based on covering some injuries in the past, you think he's been holding back a little bit?
I hope so.
To peak for the Olympics?
I hope so. Well, usually he runs his fastest times at the major meets.
Okay.
Right? Like the national record he set was in Doha, Qatar.
Okay.
Right? That was at the World Championships.
Yes.
Right? And he normally runs very well, like in an Olympic final or World Championship final.
Yeah.
right? So I'm hoping that's the case again. But this season's best is only 44.5 seconds. That's kind of modest for him at this point of the season.
Yeah, I think he's just taking his time and just doing what he has to do. He have to go out and then he can burst, let us say, bust hole in them.
He's going to get some competition. You know, Quincy Hall from the U.S. just ran 43.8 last week.
Quincy can't beat him.
You know, that was very impressive.
Yeah. What is
That's a world lead.
What's Stevie's best run?
Stevie's best time is 43.48. That's
All
a
right.
national record.
All right. So he ran 43.48?
Yes.
Okay.
That was,
and he can do that. He can do a consistent 43.
He can. He can. But he hasn't run under 40. He hasn't run 43 for the season.
So we're saying if he's going to run that race and Quincy ran that race, we could see a low 43 for the finals.
It could be a battle. It could be a battle. It's going to be a showdown.
It'd be wonderful. Okay, women's 400 meters. How's Shawnee looking?
Women's Shawnee is coming off an injury. We understand she suffered a hamstring injury. She didn't run in the 200 final at the Nationals. She didn't run the 400 final at the Nationals. So we're hopeful that she'll be healthy in time.
Are we anybody up to date on her health right now?
I haven't heard anything from her in a while.
Changed coaches, went back to her father?
No, she's still with Lance Perlman.
Okay.
She's still with Lance Perlman at Pure Athletics.
Okay.
You know, so we're hoping for the best for her. Hamstring normally takes about 4 to 6 weeks to recover from.
Yeah.
So that's about the time from the Nationals to the Olympics.
Okay.
You know, so
hopefully she'll be in.
If she's at full strength, she's going to be a threat.
Yeah, a big
no doubt
threat.
about that.
Yeah.
And she have that that goal of being the first woman ever to win 3 straight Olympic titles in the women's 400 meters.
Yeah.
That is huge.
That is huge. That's a motivating part, right?
That's a motivating factor.
Okay.
You know, so if she could get healthy and go after that, we could see the best of Shawnee in Paris.
Okay. Men's 200 meters.
Men's 200 meters.
I don't know why, but I feeling good with Ian Kerr.
I feel good with Ian Kerr and Wanya McCoy.
Okay.
You know, Ian is having, I think, his best season. You know, he had a personal best this year, 20.33 seconds.
But he can need 19 in the Olympics.
To get into the final, you would probably need a low 20.
Okay.
You probably could get into the final with a low 20.
21, something.
A 20.1 should be able to get you into the final.
Okay.
You know, so you'll have to run a PB in the semifinals. So 20.3 might be able to get you into the semifinals.
Okay.
You know, so it's going to be tight. Athletes at the Olympics, they running, man.
They running. They come.
running.
This is what everybody's dream is.
Yep, no doubt. I have no doubt that Wanya McCoy could get into the final.
Okay.
He has a personal best of 19.93 seconds.
All right.
You know, so
he keep anybody closest his personal best. He can make it to the final.
he could get into the final.
And
then once you're in the final, anything could happen.
Surprise the world.
So hoping for the best for both of them in the men's 200 meters.
Do you have somebody in women's 200 meters?
Women's 200 meters, no.
Okay.
That would have been Anthony, but she's injured.
Women's 100 meters?
Women's 100 meters, no.
Men's 100 meters?
Men's 100 meters, Terrence Jones and Wanya McCoy.
Now, Terrence is a 9.
He's run 9.91 before,
Okay.
but that was last season.
Okay.
You know, this season he hasn't dipped below 10 seconds.
Okay.
And he's coming off an injury after the indoor season. He was fantastic in the indoor season.
Yeah, I know that.
You know, and then coming off the indoor season, he had a slight injury and never was able to recover. We're hoping he could be close to 100% by the time the Olympics roll around. If he's close to 100%, he could go under 10 seconds.
Okay.
I have no doubt about that.
Okay.
And once you're under 10 seconds, you could get into the final.
And then Terrence, national 100 meter record holder?
Yes, co-national record 100 meter holder, along with Derek Atkins, 9.91 seconds.
Wow, wonderful. Javelin.
Javelin, Rima Otobor, her coach here at home, Corey, feels she could throw close to 66, 67 meters. And if she does that, I believe she could win a medal.
Okay.
You know, world standard right now for the top javelin throwers around 67, 68 meters.
Okay.
So if she could get close to 67 meters, she could definitely win a medal and get on
So
the
she
podium.
has she needs a personal best?
She'd have to throw a personal best. Her personal best right now is 64 meters, which was done at the NCAA championships.
But jumping from 64 to 67 is not hard in javelin in terms of PBing.
Well, 3 meters could be a lot. 3 meters could be a lot.
That's an extra.
Well, she since she threw that 64, I don't think she has thrown 60 since.
Okay.
Right, but she's come close. Right,
Okay.
I understand she's coming off a slight injury as well.
Okay.
So she could be in top form, and she could get close to a PB or a little further. She'll be in the final for sure.
Okay.
She could definitely win a medal.
Men's high jump.
Men's high jump.
The grandfather.
There's going to be a stretch for Donald.
I think he can come up that day. They can be calling him daddy when he come up that day.
It's remarkable that he's still competitive, 40 years old. First of all, just to make it to the Olympics at this age and this level,
been fantastic.
That's phenomenal. You know, it's going to be a little bit of a stretch. I think his season's best is 2.28 meters.
Uh-huh.
To get a medal at the Olympics, you're going to be like around 2.35.
Okay, so he's capable of 2.35. Well, in the past.
So his personal best is 2.37.
Okay.
You know, so if he could produce his best, you know, at the Olympics at this level, you know, he could be in the mix.
Okay. Just before we go on, Texas says, I was on the job site with you, Daniel.
It's the wrong show.
Bro, what job site you was on with me? My girl, my soccer, I'm a 100-meter hurdlist.
Devon Charlton.
I think she's capable of a gold medal.
The world record holder, the world indoor record holder, the world champion indoors in the 60 meters. It's going to be a stretch for Devon as well.
Okay.
And not because of what she's doing, but because of what others around the world are doing.
Okay.
Nugent just ran a 12.2.
That's a Jamaican?
That's a Jamaican
Yeah.
girl.
Ooh, yeah.
12.2. That's
She's
very
flying.
fast. That's very fast. She's having the best season of her life. Masai Russell, who was Devon's training partner, just ran a 12.26 at the U.S. trials.
Okay.
And then you still have girls like Camacho Quinn out there.
And what's Devon's PB? Do you know?
12.43.
But they training partners. You ain't want your training partner to beat you, so that could be something else.
Well, you know, Devon is a fire starter, so she will be ready. No
Okay.
doubt about that. And she always produces her best runs at a major meet.
Yes.
Whether the
does.
World Championships or Olympics.
Yeah.
Or Olympics.
Yeah.
So I could see her going 12.3 or 12.2, or maybe even faster.
That'd be fantastic.
You know, and
Well-
if she could do that, she could definitely be on the medal stand.
What about our other two girls?
Tanisha Cartwright, she is running very well right now.
Uh-huh.
She just ran a 12.73 in Tennessee.
Okay.
You know, I think that's the season's best for her.
Okay.
No, sorry. I think she ran 12.6 early this season.
She's at University of Tennessee?
No, she was
As a meet there?
She was there for a meet.
Okay.
Yeah, but she just graduated from MSU at
That's right.
at Moorhead.
Yeah.
You know, so at Mankato, sorry.
Mankato.
Mankato.
Yeah.
So she is running very well. She's in the best shape of her life. And if she could put her best together for the Olympics, she could possibly get into the final and get on the medal stand as well.
I remember, it's Mankato, and this in Minnesota, folks, South Minnesota. They known for track and field. For some reason, I think there's another behemoth that went there before.
We had a few went there.
Okay.
We had a couple who went there. I think Sharon Camp went there as well.
Okay.
You know, Robin Curry Roll.
Okay.
Went there.
Okay.
I think Lyric Brennan went there as well.
Okay.
It's my good friend's daughter.
But before we run, let's take this last caller.
Okay.
We got a wonderful.
We're talking about charisma.
Oh, hold on, caller. Don't go nowhere. Jeez, how I can ever fit.
I can't let the show ever.
Yeah,
She'll never let me at the end of that.
I want to hear that. You ain't talking about charisma.
You know, charisma, she has always been adamant about doing both events, the triple jump and
that's admirable.
and the hurdles.
Yeah,
yes.
that is fantastic.
And it's so wonderful to see her qualify in both events, right? I would love to see her make the final in both events. And like I always say, once you make the final, anything could happen.
Anything can happen.
You know, she could run a PB in the hurdles in the semifinals or the final. You know, she could get on the
But
medal
triple
stand.
jump is really her. Which is her main.
Triple jump, I think, is a that's a statement event.
That's a statement event.
Yes. You know, so if she could go there in the 14.5 meters in the triple jump, get close to 15 meters, her personal best indoors is 14.88.
Okay.
Outdoors, I think her personal best might be 13.99.
Okay.
So I don't think she scratched 14 years outdoors.
Okay.
But if she could get 14.5 and above in the triple jump,
that's 14 meters, folks.
Watch out. And then she's coached by Levon Sands.
The best.
There you go.
Call you on there.
Listen, I have a question.
Okay.
Could this matter if the Olympic Committee hears about this matter? Could they make some recommendations, or could they find the Bahamas on this matter?
No.
No, I'm saying it is their rules.
Yeah, but
and
that's
regulations, right?
our rules. Once we follow BOC follows the rules of the International Olympic Committee, which they are in line with them, they can pick who they want to come. We can choose where they go. So there's nothing IOC can do about it.
Yeah, but even if the rules that said as a person qualifying doesn't line up with the overall Olympic.
But take in mind, none of them have met the Olympic qualifying times. So this is picked out what they call a quota, or picked by the Olympic team if you feel that you can give up a good representation and make the team.
Yeah. And also remember too, that's the BAAA rule.
Because
That's not.
if you see, my thing is if you're representing the Olympics, yes, you have a choice in selecting things, but there are rules and regulations.
And the BOC is within their rules and regulations. The top three is the BAAA rules,
right?
But doesn't mean the BOC have to follow those rules. The BOC has followed their own rules.
Yeah, they're not governed by that.
Yeah, but that has to change then.
Then we have to advocate for that.
That has to change. And I think he should resign, the president of the Olympics, he has to resign.
I'm sure about that, but I hear your point.
No, I am telling you, I would have fired him on the spot. It's not fair. It's not fair. That's my point. I would have point blank fired him.
I got you.
Who could fire him? That's the thing. Government can't get involved.
The government cannot get involved.
And so the Olympic Committee, they've been voting themselves back in year after year. That's why Alan Nimbali was able to stay for 35 years.
And
you know,
fellas ain't giving that up easy. But
the only way you give it up is you have to vote them in from inside.
Exactly.
Sheldon, become a member.
We out of time. Thanks so much. I just want to say this to the Olympic team. You there.
Yes.
You're there, and that's what I am most proud of you about. Just do your best. If you come hot last, I still loving you. I still saying the Bahamas did great because you made it to the Olympics and you were representing this great country. Thank you again for joining me.
Anytime.
And we'll talk some more as we get closer to the Olympics, what we expect. And when the Olympics is going on, we'll have some conversations as to how well our team is doing.
Yes.
Thank you so much, everybody, for all the calls, all the texts. Sorry for the ones I couldn't get to. I do apologize for that. But this has been Talking Heads Thursday with your boy Pearly, my special guest today, Sheldon Longley, sports editor from The Guardian, on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Be safe, stay hydrated, take care.
You're listening to Talking Heads with Naughty, hosted by Earl the Pearl, on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM.
We're gonna give you a check every week for a year. Percy's pension plan, Island game, keep you winning. Percy's pension plan, dream big, we will help you live it. Percy's pension plan, Island game, we got you. Percy's pension plan, from the friends you can trust. If winning is a must, go play the game you know, cause your best chance is with us. The most trustworthy name is Percy's Island game. So put 20 on your account and ride this easy train at Percy's Island Game.
Cancer Treatment Centers of America is now City of Hope, creating one of the leading cancer care and research networks from coast to coast, providing more of what you need. More locations means more care closer to home. More specialists means more expertise. More research means more breakthroughs. More advancements means more treatment options. And more options means more hope. Learn more at cancercenter.com.
We are bucket together when everybody out. Fried chicken, we are free, bucket for the crow. Share a bucket together, everybody go live. Crispy original when we're online. Bucket together under the new dance craze.
Hot KFC Summer Bucket Deals. 8 pieces of your favorite fried chicken and 4 buttery biscuits with options to add family fries, a 2-liter switcher, and 4 pineapple biscuits, starting at $20. KFC, it's finger licking good.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM.
Former NFL scout. He's at the Volume. He's my buddy. Covered the NFL for 15 years. John Middlecoff. Scouted with the Eagles. You know, it's interesting. You know the Eagles really well. And I put them on the Belichick list. Is one of the things I've always appreciated about them is they've moved off winning coaches. Chip Kelly, Doug Peterson, Andy Reid. I was told there are concerns about Nick Sirianni that if you take Shane Steichen, now an Indy out of his career, he's struggled with his side of the ball offense. You tell me your take on Jeffrey Lurie, John, and what if Sirianni, what if they're good, not great, and what if Jalen Hurts, continues to be a little bit less than we thought he was when they paid him?
Well, I think they thought long and hard about Bill Belichick last year. After the ending of that season, historic collapse, I think it was a very real possibility. Now, it would have been the first defensive coach that Jeffrey Lurie has hired. He has an offensive, if you think about it, Andy Reid, Doug Peterson, Sirianni, Chip Kelly.
Yeah.
It would have been a little out of the norm, but Jeffrey Lurie's a Boston guy. And there was a NBA Finals game where Jeffrey Lurie was there with about 25 players. I don't think the 25 players drove. I think he brought them all.
Yeah.
So that area, he's obviously played Belichick twice in the Super Bowl. So I definitely think that's a possibility. I just have a hard time now that you get Kellen Moore and Vic Fangio, who clearly they wanted last year. I don't see how they're not good. Now, Super Bowl good? Who knows? But I think they're going to be in the playoffs. And this gets to the Giants' conversation with Saquon Barkley. a little like Christian McCaffrey. You put him there. They have so many pieces. I'm not saying you and I could lead them to 10 wins, but I think we'd be pretty competitive. Now you add Fangio, one of the best defensive coordinators. Listen, Sirianni, a little bit of a hothead, motivator. He's a CEO, but I kind of like my CEOs to be a little older. He's a younger CEO, but he doesn't have to call the offense because a couple years ago, like you said, Shane Steichen. Now he's got Kellen Moore, who's ran an offense forever in Dallas. Hit some speed bumps last year, but anyone would working for Brandon Staley. I expect the Eagles to be pretty competitive.
Yeah.
Now, if they lose in the first or second round because of the expectations of the city, a little like the Lakers or the Yankees, like it doesn't fly, especially with a payroll like they have and the talent. You never know. They're definitely a wild card. I would disagree with you a little bit, though, on the Giants for Belichick. I do think they're a team. They have some defensive pieces. The owner, pretty old school. Bill's obviously been there. They have a relationship. I don't think there is any amount of money in the world to get Belichick to go to the Jets, but I do think the Giants would be lingering out there if they have a bad season that when you look at their roster, I don't see how they're going to be any good.
So I'm watching HBO Max. I'm watching the Mara conversations with Joe Shane. And I've got to tell you, there's a couple of moments. I know a lot of that stuff, it's people acting for the cameras, but there are these body language moments every year on Hard Knocks. When Des Bryant was in Dallas chewing out a coach, his career, basically, his market disappeared. Antonio Brown, cryo-freezing his feet, like his market, like he got a crazy label. And I've watched that. I want to play this, the Hard Knocks video. You got the owner covering his head, the Saquon Barkley move, Joe Shane smiling, the middle management guys around him won't make eye contact. Let's play the tape. By the way, his source said Philly was out. Also not great telling your boss. Yeah, I don't know. I watched that, and I thought to myself, Saquon Barkley is going to crush for the Eagles, come back to haunt the Giants. What do you make of New York football teams right now? There's talent everywhere on both defenses, Giants, Jets. What do you make of that interaction there? I just can't see Les Snead and Stan Kroenke having that moment.
Well, I would say the number one thing, having been around Howie Roseman, a GM has to have just locked down is information. Because your entire job, it's a little bit like a stock trader, right? When it comes to coaches, when it comes to players, when it comes to trades, you have to have an understanding of the market. That means knowing what other GMs are thinking. That means knowing what the agents are thinking. That means understanding the value of contracts. They made this big deal about Saquon Barkley not paying him. Well, a couple years ago, let's say 4 or 5, the running back contracts were just a little out of whack, and they were backfiring. Well, now they're a bargain. Right. One day a house is overvalued. The next day it might be undervalued. Things change. The Eagles got Saquon Barkley for $26 million guaranteed. His cap hit this year is $3.8 million. For example, to contrast that, Daniel Jones, $92 million guaranteed. His cap hit this year is almost $50 million. I think there are 2 teams, if you're going to lose Saquon Barkley. Listen, if he goes to the Cardinals, if he goes to the Vikings, if he had gone to the Bears, who cares? Under no circumstances could the guy go to the Cowboys or the Eagles, but especially the Eagles. You saw John Mara's face. You know why? He knows he's going to be successful there. How's he not going to be successful there? It's a little like once McCaffrey got to the 49ers. Now, McCaffrey's a better player, but it seems like it's going to work, and it's going to work really well. And they didn't pay him very much money. So Joe Shane, I give them credit, even though I think the NFL kind of forced them. They have been very open in terms of the editing of this. Like, we've got a lot of good inside information in terms of how he connects with the agents, how he talks with his staff. But seems like a nice guy, seems a little over his head.
Yeah.
And I just know Howie Roseman, I mean, would have flipped a lid at this point in time in the process if he doesn't have all the information. Now, obviously, you don't know everything the other teams are going to do, but his Joe Shane's right-hand man, Brandon Brown, worked for Howie for years. So for them not to understand that the Eagles weren't just, they kind of knew they were interested, but they were really interested. And it was pretty clear. And then they signed him. So you saw John Mara's face. Listen, they have now a history post Tom Coughlin of firing a lot of people. And I don't see how the Giants are going to be very good. And if Saquon goes to have success, the writing's on the wall. I mean, all these guys are going to lose their job.
You were with San Francisco in that area for years. So Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel said he wanted out and they signed him. Brandon Ayuk's been a bit more forceful in social media and leaks. But now Ricky Pearsall, the first-round receiver, gets hurt with a non-football injury.
Not ideal.
What do you make of that, and what do you make of Ayuk? My take is Brock Purdy's not a big arm guy. I think you could get a first-rounder for Ayuk if Pearsall hit, but that's a dubious early injury. What do you make of that Ayuk situation, John?
Yeah, I think the problem of trading Ayuk at this point for a pick is the 49ers are in big picture mode. I mean, let's face it, they're kind of Super Bowl or bust this year. Last year was pretty devastating. This team, I mean, George Kittle's 30 years old. Trent Williams is 35 years old. Deebo has a lot of wear and tear on those tires. I think the situation became complicated. Once they signed Deebo Samuel, they could have afforded Ayuk at a large number if Christian McCaffrey didn't exist. But then they traded for Christian McCaffrey, and he immediately became, I don't know, LT or Marshall Faulk 2.0, and Deebo's already under the contract. If they were both in this situation, I think they would choose Ayuk over Deebo. But Deebo's under this contract, and he's on the team. And I think the 49ers, the way they, build their offense or, scheme their offense and play, Ayuk's never going to be a 105, 110 catch guy like Amon-Ra St. Brown, which he saw the money he got, and he wants that. The problem is they're never going to throw him that many balls, so does it pencil to pay Ayuk this much money? They had a deal on the table for $26 million a year, and then the market exploded, and then it got really complicated. Here's the other thing with the 49ers.
Yeah.
Parag Marate, who's their contract guy, is a very, very tough negotiator. And they always pay their guys. But look at Nick Bosa, who I'd argue is the second best player on the team if you consider Trent the best player. He did not sign his contract till the week before week 1 last year. So that they don't just hand over money just because you're a good player. And I also think they understand the big picture of this operation. They like this player a lot. He's a winning player. He's a talented player. He's a productive player. I do think it just gets complicated the way they've constructed. They have a lot of high-priced guys. I mean, George Kittle makes a lot of money. Fred Warner makes a lot of money. Trent makes a lot of money. McCaffrey makes a lot of money. And obviously Purdy next year is going to get paid, but a lot of Purdy's success has been with Ayuk. It's just a complicated situation. I can't envision them trading him for a pick because that does not help them this year. Now, I don't care what you do, you got a price for whatever you have. If someone blew them away, like offered 2 first round, but who's doing that, Colin? I think 2 years ago they thought about trading Ayuk because they could see this coming. And that year when Zay Flowers and Jordan Addison, those guys in the early 20s were drafted. But ultimately the Vikings and the Ravens drafted those 2 players, and they're really good players, and they're cheap. So how does it make any sense for these teams to trade, the playoff level teams, a first round pick that's going to be in the 20s when they can just draft one of those players? Brandon Ayuk was the 27th pick in the draft, right? That's where you could get these type talents at $3-4 million a year for 4 straight years till you have to deal with the 5th year option. So I think this is going to go into camp. I think it's going to continue to get ugly, and I think Ayuk is going to continue to express his frustrations.
So finally, I did a top 10 coaching list yesterday, and one of the reasons I thought about it, because you at the Volume and on your podcast had done it several days earlier. So we both have Sean McVay and Andy Reid near the top. My list is Reid, McVay, John Harbaugh. I didn't count Jim because I haven't seen him in years, but my guess is he'll be top 5 very quick. You did not have Sean Payton anywhere in your top 10. I had him very high. You had Shanahan 1. I think he's had too many meltdowns in high leverage games in the fourth quarter, but I do acknowledge that if he gets a trophy, he'll go right back up. I just feel in those big leverage spots, he's had some real disappointments, and often Andy Reid has been at his very best in those high